Everyone, this is Dan with Arcade Funcade. Today we're going to go over a Megacade cabinet and all of its components. We're going to show you guys a little bit of what we do here and a little walkthrough and a walk around of every little thing that we do. A lot of people want to ask us about how we go about building and what's involved in the build, and we want to show them how it all comes together. And if you want to follow me here, I'll show you a little bit about what we have going on. Come on down. So we're going to start out with the top of the machine. What we have here is the top of the Megacade. We have the 32-inch screen it's flipped upside down right now. We've been fitting the 32-inch to the wood panel that goes in the top of the machine. And what we're going to be doing here is that we're going to be gluing the inside of this machine and then adding a metal strip on each side to hold it from falling in. So this guy, if you want to do a little when I get a little close up here, you can see how close this bezel is to the wood. It's literally touching the sides. I mean, there's literally no room there, so it's super tight. It won't move around, and it's super awesome. So this is one of the components that go in the top of the machine. It's actually sitting on top of its glass right here, so you can see that it's upside down. All we really do that for is so we can level out the monitor with the glass, so we can go down about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch below the glass, so the monitor isn't touching the glass entirely. We're going to move on to some of the control panels. We have two control panels. We have one per side. We use these for the head-to-head system, and these control panels are used when you play the 60-in-1 or the 412-in-1, and it's used for the head-to-head. So we're going to go. I'm going to show you guys how these guys go installing these guys. So you can see how big these guys are. They're a little larger than the original ones we used to use, and we still use the regular joysticks, the regular control panels with no trackball. Some people prefer trackball, some others don't. So here's another machine I'm going to show you that we're making that just has a joystick and 3 buttons. Everyone has their different preferences and layout preferences, so it's all up to the customer. And so I'm going to show you guys a little. This is how they actually go head to head. Obviously, it doesn't go installed like this, but they go head to head, and they have a nice little feel. We have the little hockey machine over there chiming in. So this is actually the layout of the entire machine, and what we're going to be doing is showing you guys the layout of the head to head with nothing up top. So that's really cool. So we literally have a naked cabinet. We have no graphics, as you can see, no buttons, no wires. This is the bare bones cabinet before we start everything. We have to retrofit everything to make sure everything's going to fit before we start installing graphics and doing all kinds of stuff. Because once you put the graphics on, there's no turning back. So that's one of the things. We don't want to ruin any graphics. So the idea with this guy is that we have a coin door. So this is a Megacade with a coin door, and this system is going to be very unique. What we're going to do is we're going to have a PC with a 412-in-1. So it's going to have 2 separate systems. What's going to be cool about this is that we're going to use one side, the left side for the 412, and the right side for the PC. So what we're going to essentially do is wire up the 412 on this side, as it has your little coin mech flicker connections there. And you can see the little terminals down below here. Take a little look. It's kind of dark, but you can see the little terminals here. And we have the coin mechanism. So this is a full-blown working coin door. Now, if you take a look inside, you can see that there's a little coin box. So there's a little spot where the quarters can fall. We're also going to be utilizing that area so we can attach the volume control knob for later use. And so when you want to change the volume on there's going to be headphone jacks on the volume control knob. You're going to be able to open the door, connect some headphone jacks if you like, and listen to the gameplay on the PC. Now, this system is really cool. It's really unique, and it could be used in a couple different ways. Now, the way this machine was designed was so where you can actually play head-to-head, and all the while you're playing the head-to-head, like Donkey Kong or Pac-Man or whatever game you're going to be playing, you could then also have 2 people playing on this side on a extra TV, whether it's wall mounted or mounted to the cabinet. So I'm going to show you a raw metal arm that we use for these machines, and it is heavy duty, no joke, heavy duty built material. Yeah, these are actually built by our local welding shops. And what we do, it's kind of neat because we employ a lot of people around the area. So we always promote local businesses. That's the whole idea. So these guys, they're built in a sense, in a way, to where they're super heavy duty. I mean, again, this thing you could run this thing over with a car, no problem. So these guys, being that if you just drill this thing into the sidewall, it would be susceptible to just breaking away if somebody hangs on the TV or something. So we can't just screw it into the back wall here. So what we ended up doing is that we developed a system. If you want to take an angle here, angle shot. So we literally take these two pieces, the inner plate, and again, this is like 1/8 of an inch thick, so it's thick as heck. And what we do is we mount this guy and sandwich the two pieces of metal to sandwich the wood, and it creates a really heavy duty base. So you could literally, I've actually had some 9-10-year-old kids hanging on this thing to kind of test it, and we're gonna have to make a video about that later on. But this guy, what we then do is we pass all the wires through the base here, and they get wired through, and have a little hole in the backside here, so you can actually take out the HDMI wire. The monitor that's hung up on the back of this guy has a power wire that comes through, feeds through this tube here, and it goes in through the machine through here. So there's no exposed wires, and it looks really nice and clean. So that's the idea. And we usually paint these guys black or silver, depending on what our customer asks for, or any other colors if you like. So we really wanted to show you guys the TV mounts. And again, we're going to go over a part 2 video of this guy being completely finished, so we can show you guys what it looks like before and after. If you want to get a shot here of the coin mechs, you can actually see them from the outside in. So that's kind of neat. It's kind of neat to be able to show and see those guys. So the quarters literally drop from the outside in, and they'll drop right inside this little door here. So there'll be a couple things in here. You'll have the Xbox 360 remote system, the little wireless transmitter, and you'll have the volume control knob. So that'll be on there. And what we also have, a lot of people don't really know. They kind of see it all the time, but they don't really know where this actually comes from. This speaker hole, we've actually adopted that style speaker hole from what cabinet? Hopefully you guys could send us a comment and kind of see if you guys can remember where that pattern's from. And I'm not going to give you guys a hint because you guys probably already know. There's a couple cool little options on this guy, cool little details. The coin door, I wanted to go over that. Usually the coin door has a plastic. We'll show this Mortal Kombat here. Usually have a plastic little flap. You can hear the difference there. Just a little plastic flap. And again, this is an original machine. We're going to show you guys that these guys, the coin doors on our Megacades, actually have a all metal coin door flip. So if you're going in there and you're grabbing a little quarter back, if it gets returned, you can actually go in there and listen to the actual clanking of that little swinging door. So that's pretty neat. We still got to finish up the trim, and a lot of people ask us about this different style colors and all that stuff. And again, we could do whatever color you like. And if you have any ideas, or we could do a theme of whatever you like, whatever colors. So many colors. It's about 10, 12 colors you can choose from. Now we're going to go to the components of the machine. The joysticks. We talk to our customers about our tournament edition style fighter joysticks. So these guys, we wanted to show you guys the bottoms of these fellas, and we didn't quite build this entire joystick correctly. We haven't finished it up, still in the bag. But this guy is a really smooth working, heavy duty joystick. It's made out of graphite, so it's not a ABS plastic that could easily break. I've seen adults and pretty large kids just swing around these guys and just hang off of them and just beat the crap out of them. But I've never seen one break, so that's pretty neat. So this guy, it has this is your 8-way joystick. This guy's going to be connected right inside. Well, it's going to be right here. So you're going to have the two joysticks. And again, we could do any color joystick. We could do red, white, yellow, black, and green, blue, there's purple. There's a bunch of different colors. And we chose to go with red in this one. It's going to have a Burger Time theme on it, so we wanted to kind of make it look a little cool there. And obviously we want them all to look cool. So we're going to be doing that, and we're going to be doing some solid colors. We're going to do some solid reds. So these are our solid red I.L. Lorenzo buttons with Cherry Master switches. So they're really nice buttons. They have a great click to them, and they're super responsive, very fast. It's something that you can even hear the little clicking. And And a lot of people don't get to see this. They don't get to see the inside of the buttons. So we're going to show you guys a little close-up of these little buttons. So what they do when you press the button, and it's an easy install. So what we're going to do is just grab this guy and just pop it on, and you're going to see a little bit of the action there. So as you press the button here, you can see the action of the little guy actually getting pushed in. And these little switches are actually rated for 10 million hits, so that's a hell of a lot of hits. So it's kind of cool to show you guys. A lot of people want to know what's inside, and they never really get to see it because it always gets to them completely built. And it's kind of nice to know too how to take them off. I'll give you a quick inside thing. So with these guys, to take them off, there's a big wing here and a small wing. And what we do is that we take the big wing and we pull away. So you can see this little guy pull away there. You see how we pull away? And all you do is just slide it up. So it literally just jackknifes right in. So as long as you have this little point here going to the front of it, you always have the little switch pointing up into the bottom of the button. So easy to take off and put back on. But it's funny, once it's on there, it's really hard to fall off again. So it's crazy. So then the other thing we're using is the Tournament Edition Namco Direct Replacement 4-way joystick. And with this guy, it's also graphite, so it's just as heavy duty as your big 8-way joystick. So this fella, what's neat about this guy is that it completely matches the top of this guy. So we actually have a textured finish. It doesn't have that polished red look to it. It actually has a textured finish, and it's a little bit harder than your like JS19s or Zippies and stuff that other people are using. It's a little bit harder, a little bit heavier duty. And it's a little shorter shaft, but it's a direct replacement for a Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man. And we like to use these at times, depending on the customer's taste. But in this occasion, we're going to be using the direct replacement Tournament Edition Pac-Man replacement machine, or joystick. So that's going to be awesome. So we have those guys, and we're going to have one of those on each end. So we have the two. One guy's going to go here, and we'll have one on the other end. So that's where the little fellas are going to go. And we're going to have, obviously, the big guys go side by side. We'll have one here, and we'll have one here. Now, people always ask, like, how the heck or what the heck goes in that giant hole there? And our answer is this big old trackball, man. The housing. People are always wondering, like, how the heck or what the heck is underneath the control panel. No one really knows. The reason why the control panels are as large as they are is because of the fact that these things are monstrous. They actually have to go this way, so it shows that the little arrow is pointing up towards the monitor. So this thing from point to point is literally 9 inches. So it's a big fella, and it has to get mounted inside this control panel. And what's neat about it is that when you get in there, you actually mount it, and you can see that little lip. The little lip sticks out. And what's neat about that is that you're not sliding your fingers on the metal or the graphics. You're actually sliding on the ball itself. So that way you're not catching yourself on any buttons or anything around it. So you have the little lip that sticks out. It's made specifically for this trackball. And you can use LED trackballs and all that stuff, but we've had some funny things happen with some of those LED bulbs inside those things that we don't really like. These are direct replacement, heavy-duty, true arcade pieces. So that's nice. Another thing we're going to work on and we're going to talk about is the spinner knob. So on this machine, this particular machine, we're going to be adding a spinner knob. The spinner knob is pretty rad. That's one of the coolest additions we've been putting on our machines. And again, it's by, it's pretty much a commercial, or I'm sorry, a upgrade that is asked for by the customer. So it's one of those things that we've, you only get one if you ask for it, pretty much. So these guys, they're literally shipped in directly from the UK. They're made by the company Ultimark. And what we do with these fellas is that we plug them in to this little USB chip. And what we do then is that we hook up our USB wire, or one end of our mini USB wire, from the USB chip directly to our PC. So it's a direct connect, hardwired system. And what's neat about this guy is that it has a little weight. So it has a little weight, and when you're playing, let's say you're going to play like a game like Tron or something like that, you can actually use the spinner knob or Arkanoid and stuff like that. So this little weight, it goes on the bottom, it slides right in, and at the top, we have a knob. Now what's neat about these knobs is that you can actually have whatever color knob you want. So you could do a red, black, gray, silver, I'm sorry, black and silver, or silver. So there's about 4 colors to choose from. And again, if you want something that's machined, that's custom made, we could do that as well. And costs a few extra bucks, but our machinist guys are always willing to make all kinds of crazy stuff. And I see that with crazy sarcasm because they're always pissed. I have no idea why. Maybe because we always pull up with some crazy stuff for them to make. But crazy isn't good though. So this is the actual spinner knob. I haven't tightened this thing up, but I'm gonna totally do it since we're already here. I'm gonna tighten the hell out of this thing really quick. So you can see that the spinner knob is now on there. And this little fella, little weight, just squeezing it on. I'm gonna have to loosen it so you can get this little guy on there. And I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. So this guy, once it's down, once it's in there, this little weight, it's actually quite heavy. So this entire piece here, this aluminum little screw thing, this thing screws in, and it's exactly the size of the holes here. So you can actually put this guy anywhere you want. We're going to be placing this guy somewhere in a big area where we have enough room. And this guy, it has a nice, it almost looks like one of those old school home audio system knobs that we had back in the day in like the 80s and 90s. But it's really neat. This is a super smooth, ultra heavy duty system. This thing's like really awesome, and there's no jitteriness, there's no wobble. Once it gets screwed in there, it's really nice and tight, and it really does a heck of a job. Like you're playing Galaga, you could play it with this guy. I mean, all the games, like driving games, you can actually play it with this guy. In fact, you could take off this head and put on a steering wheel. There's 6-inch or 8-inch steering wheels you can screw onto these guys, and you can actually use them to drive. So that's one of the cool things about the little spinner here, that they're really versatile. You can do a lot with them. As long as you kind of put your hand underneath it, you hold it, you can take off the little Allen key, and the top will just slide right off. You can slide something on top of it. So that's pretty cool. And we're going to move on to the next thing, which is going to be something that we also had to order from the UK, from Ultimark, same company that the spinner came from. This fella is a IR sensor. It's an IR sensor. So this guy, what we do with this fella is that we connect it to the top of our monitor. So once the monitor is installed, let's say our rear monitor, we usually connect it in the top right corner or left corner of the arcade. And what this allows us to do is to use our light gun. So back in the old day, I'll give you a little background. Back in the old day, when we had tube TVs like this fella, and you had like, Duck Hunt and other games like and Hogan's Alley and some of the like Police Trainer and some of these other games, Area 51. So some of these games require, they were able to be just read the light off of the tubes. But nowadays we're using LED screens, LCD screens, and all kinds of OLEDs and all kinds of stuff that people have. Now we have to take these guys and place them up here, and then what that does is that it helps and allows the actual light gun to read the light that's coming off of the light bar rather than the monitor itself. So there's nothing really going on with the monitor. It's pretty much just using the IR sensor. So it's really neat. Now this is an extra large sensor. So any screen that's 32 inches and larger, up to 55 inch, you could use the IR sensor. But anything smaller, you could use the sensor that comes with the gun. But we have to special order these guys if you have a larger screen. So there's a little bit of background on those parts. Now what we have is, you also have the little trackballs. These fellas are going to be going, it's actually pre-wired to the system. So the harnesses are all ready. Some of these harnesses, we actually had to build these harnesses. You can buy them online, but we like to use our own connections and make them nice and heavy duty. Another thing we like to do is build our own harnesses. So we actually build all of our own harnesses. A lot of people ask us, who's building these things? Where are you guys getting them from? And we're literally building them right here in the US. So these machines are they have thicker wire, heavier duty wire. Everything's insulated, everything's soldered in, and it's all done the right way. So that's pretty neat. So we have these guys. These guys are a little heavier duty than most. We always like to tell you guys about the power lines and power wires and how thick they are and heavy duty they are. Well, these terminals are a lot more heavy duty than most others, and we've never had a melting issue or overheating issue. Always had a really good background on those guys. Another thing we're going to be showing you guys is the LED lights. So we have these little LED lights, and we're going to be using a couple of these guys on our machine here. So these fellows are really cool. We're going to show you guys a little bit of what can be done with these guys. And they have a little harness inside. Again, we're going to go. Our viewers always like the idea of us going into detail. So I'm going to go into detail with this fella. So these guys, what we usually do when we build these guys, there's a little negative and positive sign on our LED lights. So you can see the little LED sign right there, and we have, I'm sorry, the negative side and the positive. So we usually put the positive side towards those little arms I was showing you guys a little while ago on the red buttons. We put them on that side, so we snap these guys in, and then these fellas go right inside the button here. And all we do is just stick them in there and just turn. So once we get them inside, we just turn it, and then we're able to then push the button and do that stuff. So I'm going to take this guy out and show you guys another little trick. So a couple of customers have asked us if we can put start button or coin little lettering in there, and we found that we can actually take the cap off of these buttons and add whatever insert we like inside them. So you can put whatever you like, or we could do it for you while we're building it. But these guys, what you do is just press these two little tabs, and you press it up, and this whole button comes up. So you can see it actually come up. And what you do is you pop the top off, kind of like popping the lid off a cap, off of a pop, I'm sorry. And all you do is just put a little round cutout of whatever you want up here, and it's obviously going to be backlit. And this is clear. It has a clear little cap, little top. So all you do is put it back on, and you snap it, like so. And you just put it back down, click the little legs back in, and you're in business. It's ready to go. So you can pretty much put anything you want in there. You can customize it with cool little characters or whatever you like. So it's kind of neat. It's one of the little tricks that we have for these little buttons. So it was kind of cool to figure that out. We actually broke one in accident, took it apart to kind of take some parts off of it, and we found that we could take that cap off. So it was a happy surprise. So here's a little bit of a little background on our machine, and I wanted to show you guys the internal parts and components, some of the internal components and parts that we use. And the most important stuff, in fact, are the components. That's one of the things that we do. And we always like to show and tell our customers that the game boards that we use are built and designed in the U.S. Our 16-1 boards, which I do not have with me right now, but those guys, they're actually made in Crystal Lake, Illinois. And we have a lot of parts here. The majority of them are heavy duty. Everything's been hand-picked by our guys, myself and our guys, to make sure that every one of these pieces is as heavy duty as can possibly be, so we can put into one of our machines to have our customers enjoy them for years to come, for their families and themselves to have for years to come. So that's pretty awesome. Our main objective is to make them the baddest ass machine they could possibly lay their eyes on. That's what it's all about, really. And that's the main goal. So I hope you guys liked the video and the overall view of the machine. And until next time, you guys take care. Thanks for watching. And make sure you guys give us a like, a share, and check out our website, arcadefuncade at .net. And you can email us if you guys want to talk to us, have any questions about games or anything else. Give me a call directly at 402-641-4482. That's my direct line. And you can call our call center at 224-300-0149. And you can send us an email at arcadefuncade@gmail.com. And you guys take care. Again, thanks for watching, and have a good night.